Here we have a list of around 200 addresses in which the street address, city, state code, etc. are not separated by a comma. So we can't use a delimiter to separate the different components of the addresses. Here's how we work with it. Notice, this data is similarly structured in a way that the state code, zip, and country are in the same format throughout the data. This makes our job partly easy. That's because we can break the address and remove a fixed length of characters from the end of the address string. We removed 18 characters from the right of the address, as shown in the formula. You may have noticed a space before the state code. I will cover that reasoning later in the video. Copy the separated data to a different sheet to format. Note that when we paste this data, you will see a missing reference error. All you have to do is paste it as text instead of as a formula. Since this data is very structured, we can use the fixed length option here. This will get rid of the extra space before the state code. Now, let's copy this data back to the original data sheet and name columns of this extracted data. The next step here is to remove the extracted part in column C from the complete address in column B, so we are left with only the street address and the city. Again, just like we did before, we're going to paste this output to a separate sheet as text and then work on it further. Now, to explain this formula a little in detail, we will write this step by step. First, we will substitute all blank spaces in the text in column A with a hash sign. You can see outputs at each step in cell B2. Next, we will replace the hash sign with 50 spaces, using the repeat function in place of the hash sign. Now that we have isolated the last word in this text string, which is the city, we can extract 50 characters from the end of this string safely and then trim any extra spaces. Also, this is the reason we removed 18 characters from the right when we first started working on this string, so we don't leave a space in the end of the string, or else this function wouldn't work. Let's copy this data back to our original sheet. Remember, you may see different output when copying this, but once you paste as a text value, it will be fine. Next, we will remove the city in column F from the string in column D using the substitute function. The steps I will do next is to copy this input and paste as text data, so all I have as extracted information is the data with no formulas. And when all data is extracted, we will delete columns C and D since there is now no formula dependency of the extracted data on the formulas in these columns. Note that this method of data extraction will not work dynamically as new data is added. It was important to cover this part first so you understand the formulas and the logic that goes into it. Now let's set everything up with just formulas, so all you have to do is drag and fill the formulas as new data is added. For country, since this is all USA, we will just extract the last 3 characters from the right, as in the formula. For zip, we will extract the last 14 characters from the text in cell B2 and then substitute the country code stored in cell G2 with a blank, so all we have left is the zip. For state code, we will extract the first 17 characters from the right, then substitute the first 15 characters from the right with a blank, so we're left with just the state code. For city, we will do all the steps that we previously did, but these will all be nestled in one formula. First, we will remove the last 18 characters from cell B2, so we are left with just the street address and city name. Next, we will substitute all blanks in the string with 50 blank spaces. Then we will extract the right 50 characters from this output and trim the extra spaces. For street address, all you need to do is copy the formula in cell D2 in cell C2 and replace right with left and 50 with 100 in the highlighted positions. Now the next step is to review and clean up the data. For this, we know that it's only the city name and street addresses that may be messed up since the later part of the addresses was already structured and looks consistent. Let's start by analyzing the cities. For this, we will add a filter to the city column. Then we will scroll through the options under the city filter to look for terms that don't look like a complete city name, for instance, beach. So we go in and manually fix that to clean up our data. And we repeat the process for all such inputs.